like comic books?
Comic books.
Comic books.
Comic books.
Comic books.
I'm quite keen on comic books.
Movies.
Movies.
The movies. Stupid TV shows. TV shows.
But what are some of your favorite TV shows?
Can be enjoyed as video games, as TV shows, books, movies, the entire world. Wholeheartedly embrace the apocalypse. Let's start the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a great Sunday edition of the Next Issue podcast. How's it going, Jeff? How are you?
It's going great. It's Sunday, and I just got the Sunday scaries. So
The Sunday Scaries?
yeah,
What's
that's when
that
you don't
mean?
want to go back to work. You have to. Tomorrow's a work day.
I've never heard it like that.
That's what they call them, the Sunday scaries.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, you come here and you learn something, kids. Learn something new every episode. We're gonna get into a few things, but before that, I want to plug a few quick things. Of course, if you missed our show on Saturday, we go into detail about that new Spider-Man brand new day trailer, and we talked about everything, theories, and then there was even something that I found across the internet after we had already recorded, so that would have been fun to talk about too. But yeah, go check it out. Great show. We also talk about Dune a little bit, and then of course, Marvel comics continue to try to ruin themselves
They're working hard, working very hard at ruining everything.
over time, and that might be displayed in when we talk about our comics for the week. Because let me tell you, I'm looking at the pile in front of me. Not a lot of Marvel books. Like the ratio, Marvel is getting ratioed on my pull list.
They are. I always do a little whenever I bring all my comics back in from New Comic Book Day, I will set them out by a pile of DC comics, pile of Marvel comics, pile of the indie comics, and the Marvel stack is just, as the weeks continue, dwindling to nothing, to one, two, sometimes nothing.
Yes. Yeah, there's just like, is there gonna be even Marvel comics here? I don't know. We'll just have to tune in and find out. I mean, definitely gonna be a Daredevil comic in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Maybe more if I get some of those bags, those blind bags. Which once again, maybe you rethink the name on that one, Marvel.
Radar bag.
That's right, something. But before we get to comic books, I also want to plug, and this will kind of be in conjunction with what I'm talking about. I have a review on the channel for Project Hail Mary, the latest film with Ryan Gosling, and if this is what gets you to that movie, is by the directors of Into the Spider-Verse, Lord and Miller. And one of the biggest questions that this movie makes me ask is, what did that solo movie look like when they were directing it?
Really, 100%. Because you think about, they've had nothing but hits since then. Like everything they've touched has been like, oh, this is genius.
Yes.
And I just can't imagine like what Star Wars was thinking at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. And look, I love Ron Howard. I think he's a great director. But I don't know if he's the director that I want to see in my Star Wars in 2010 or whenever that came, like in the 2010s at least.
This is when they were very scared of their audience. Star Wars allowed themselves to get bullied when they should have just said, "We're doing what we want to do." George Lucas never allowed himself to get bullied. He just went full ahead and drank the milk, full steam ahead. So, but yeah, for a handful of years there, the Star Wars offices pretty much allowed their fans to dictate how Star Wars would go.
And it just goes to show you can't play scared, Star Wars. You can't play scared. You gotta take risks. Like Miss Frizzle said, take risk, make mistakes, get messy. That's like the biggest lesson of the Magic School Bus, and it remains true to today's day. So yeah. Um, in an alternate universe, they did that, and Star Wars was fun. Which look, I like the Solo film just fine. I think it's a fine film. It makes me wonder after watching this and the buzz that Project Hail Mary is getting. So yeah, but go check out my full thoughts on that movie. Have you seen it, or do you have plans to go watch Project Hail Mary?
I've not seen it yet. I don't have immediate plans, but I mean, it's on the list of things to go see. I'll probably try to.
Well, let me
I'm taking a
whatever
half
I,
day on Tuesday, so maybe
oh,
Tuesday will be the
whatever I can do to get it higher on that list of priorities. You let me know. We're gonna make it happen. Yeah, we need get on the Patreon, guys, so we can send Jeff to the theater.
yes.
Get him on a mission to buy one of those buckets. What the? Are you still trying to Alamo it up, or like, do you have any like? What are your choices now when it comes to movies?
We're the two closest theaters outside of the Alamo to me are two AMC theaters.
Okay.
There's the AMC North Park, which is the fancy mall.
Yeah.
And that's fun. And then there's a AMC 30 Mesquite, which is just a giant movie theater that sits by itself.
Multiplex. You can spend all day there watching movies.
That's right. That's right.
I guess you could also spend all day at the mall. So and then you go across the street. Yeah.
I did do my weekly grocery shopping yesterday, and it was like $124. And I've not bought gas for the week yet. So I'm also like, I am not doing anything. If I cannot spend money, then that is the perfect. I should probably read the 15 book backlog that I have of different trades and graphic novels and actual books. And instead of going to spend more money.
That's fair. Gas prices be killing you. So okay. Well, on that note, let's just talk about what we've been watching before we get into comics. I got a couple of things. So I mentioned yesterday on the stream, Friday morning, I took the day off of work. It's the best week for me to take off of work because it's like we're done with reconciliations and all that, and then it's before month end grind really starts for prepping, so it's perfect. And yeah, 8:30 a.m. in the morning Friday, I was at my local
right there
Cinemark 70 millimeter IMAX for Project Hail Mary.
Do they serve breakfast foods that early in the morning at the theater?
They don't, but that theater does serve Starbucks, so I got a hot chocolate. Okay. Yeah, I'm not I'm not a hot dog guy at 8:30 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning. I get an 8:30 in the morning hot dog.
I try for popcorn not to be the first thing to touch my stomach on a morning, especially that salty theater popcorn.
A lot of butter, a lot of jalapeno sauce or whatever, a little powder, a little
all the stuff.
Kick.
Yeah, but that theater does have they do serve Starbucks, so I got a hot chocolate, cozied up. IMAX. I hadn't been to the IMAX in a while, and I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but for the audience that wasn't there, it was really cool because you don't get all the trailers. We just got two things. We saw Dune, the Dune trailer that we talked about yesterday and we saw earlier, and then the other thing was like a special clip of the Odyssey, which also very exciting stuff. Like it's probably the first scene. I was talking to my brother. I don't know if you remember the Dark Knight did that same thing where you could go watch I Am Legend and then you got to see the first 5 minutes of the Dark Knight in IMAX. So that was back in the day. So yeah. And then this morning I was out and about. I was in the Addison area doing some stuff, and I saw the movie theater times, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to watch Ready or Not 2, but that wasn't starting for another hour and a half. But Project Hail Mary was starting in the next 10 minutes, and it takes 20 to 30 minutes to get through all the trailers. So I watched it again on Dolby because I have the AMC pass. So I was like, all right, we're running it back. So yeah, it's really good.
It's a two-timer now. It's a two-timer.
A two-timer. So the average of the show has gone up thanks to me. And I will be working on 2 videos for that if you're waiting. The first one's going to be differences between the book and the movie because I have read the book as well. So I figured might as well put that to good use. And then the other one's going to be if you should go watch it on IMAX or Dolby, because I think that also makes a difference. So I'll tell you about both things, and then you can make your choice. That one will be a lot more spoiler free than the book differences. But so yeah. But Jeff, what about you? What did you watch this week? What have you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of the March Madness NCAA tournament started this week, which I find is the best background television for when work from home days. And it's just going on, and whenever they cheer, I look up. So that's when, and they'll usually show a replay.
Yeah.
It also makes me want to eat wings a lot over the week because you get a lot of commercials for wings places.
Does it make you want to draft Kings?
It makes me want to draft some Kings as well, and get new insurance. But I've been watching. I watched the Into the Manosphere documentary that's on Netflix.
Oh,
have you heard about this? Have you seen the talk about?
I have not. I have not. What's the pitch for that?
So it is a British documentarian. His name is Louis Theroux, and he goes around and he interviews the red pill podcasters, for lack of a better term. These are these kind of like toxic masculinity men who are like, this is you need to wake up and grind and work for yourself, and all women are all that stuff. And he's trying to get into the mindset, like what's going on with those dudes. And it's really entertaining, I guess. It's not entertaining is not the right word. It's fascinating because you see these dudes who project such alpha masculinity energy, or they're trying to, and it's all facade. You get to see it right up front, and he kind of takes the sheen off that, and he doesn't work very hard at it. He's not like it's not like this kind of he's out thinking them in any sort of way. He just kind of asks the questions, and then he watches them unravel, and we all see them unravel in real time as they have a difficult time trying to explain why they are the way they are, or their belief system and stuff. And then they get really bent out of shape about it. And then you watch them. Yeah, you just watch these guys, these supposed alpha males, completely break down and just have a blowout.
I think that's definitely, like you said, fascinating. But I want to know, does he give them a hug at the end? Because I feel like if you're gonna break someone down, and they don't kind of like change their whole, the paradigm of whatever their life is and everything that they believe in, you should be ready to like help them then with the next step. You can't just go blow.
They never get to that point. They never get to that point. They always get to the where like they see it maybe in with their subconscious or whatever, and then they double down, and then they're like, no, this guy's gotcha.
So we need.
So they always kind of they never learn their lesson, but they are. You get the sense, maybe I don't know, but you get the sense that they peek down that road where they see, I'm the thing that's wrong, and then they shut it off, and they're like, nope, that can't be the truth, and they double down on who they are. And there is kind of like at the end of the show, there's like this, like there's one of the guys is married, has a kid, but it's a single-sided monogamous relationship, meaning he gets to see however many women he wants, but she's the one that stays loyal to him. And he and Louis will ask them as a couple, like, is that like cool with you, wife person? Sure. And she's like, yeah, I don't really talk about it. But like, again, it's these people don't they don't ever like second get, like they're never self-aware enough to start thinking about those things. And so he just like slows them down to make them think about it. Sure. And then that's when they start to like, this is not.
Yeah, because it's always about the next hustle, the next grind, right? So like, when do they even have to think about that? like like that. I don't know if you saw. There was a clip going around of like some tech guy talking about he's never experienced like self reflection or like I've never looked within me. That's a and then he also said that's like a new concept. I'm like, I don't think it is. I don't think introspective is a new concept in life, but
yeah, I was like, Holmes never heard of Voltaire before. Like, what are you talking about? I did see that clip. He was like, it's only like been in the last 40 years that we've all been self-introspective. I was like, what are you? How are you in charge of a company? How are you in charge of anything?
I feel like even just the phrase something like "physician heal thyself" is older than just the last few years. So like that concept probably applies to other things too, even stuff like that. So interesting. I don't know that I'll check that out because I feel like once you've experienced Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel on the Men Show, like you've gotten to the top of the hill. I feel.
It gets way worse than them. But that's kind of the intro. That's entry level stuff, I think. I think I mentioned in a couple of episodes back that I'd started watching a lot of like old G4 stuff that people put the network G4. That's also, I'm like, half these guys that I'm watching, have red pilled themselves down this kind of toxic masculinity kind of stuff, which is kind of a bummer. But on
that note, we've changed our outro to just be girls and trampolines because I think that's what the audience wants. So
sex sells.
You guys did it. You guys voted. You made your voice heard in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. We're Bevo forever. Even if no one gets the reference anymore, hail Bevo forever in this show. Cool. The last thing I'll talk about, and I won't go too deep into it because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't remember. Can you remind me where you were at with the Invincible? Like, did you ever watch that at all? There's so many Prime shows that I ask you about that I don't remember which ones you're caught up in, which ones you're not.
Yeah, no, I never. Okay. I think I might have finished the first season. I don't even really remember. Gotcha. Speaking of, I forgot until yesterday that there was a whole Batman Amazon show that was really good.
Yes,
like 2 years, and then I completely forgot about it. And I was like, I guess there's no second season of that, or I don't know what happened to that.
Well, there's two Batman things, so I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the detective series, right? Like the noir, Bruce Timm coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was also the Merry Little Batman. That was more.
There was that one too. Yeah, I forgot about that
one. Also on Prime. I'm not sure why these are on Prime and not HBO. I guess HBO passed on them or whatever. But yeah, no, those are really. They're working on more. They are. It's just.
Are they working on? Okay.
They are working on more of that. I believe, if I remember correctly, because Mark Bernardin of Batman Beyond with Kevin Smith, for those that may not know the name, he did one of the episodes or one or two of the episodes, and he said they're working on more. So
okay, well that's good.
Yeah, if you enjoy that show, very different from Invincible. So I would like to ask, because they dropped 3 episodes and I watched all 3. I really like the show a lot. I like the show a lot. It definitely feels like the truest adaptation of a comic book into an animated medium, in the sense that I feel like they put in so much in every episode. There's no, because I'm curious for people that have read the comic, like, do you really see so many arcs mixing in back and forth? Because like there's usually at least 2 world-ending threats happening at the same time in the show, and I'm like, was the comic like that, or are they just combined? For time's sake, are they combining multiple arcs and storylines and streamlining, which would make more sense? But I don't know if you can imagine reading a comic like a Batman book, and it's like both the Joker and like aliens are showing up at the same time or something.
I seem to remember. With having very little knowledge about the show, and it's been a long time since I've read the comic. Sure. But I do remember them talking in the first season about how they were definitely going to like condense a lot of the stories, just because you're dealing with a completely different medium, and it just works better if the more stuff that's going on in television the better it is. So I'm sure some of that stuff is condensed, but like I said, it's been forever since I was reading the comic in real time and haven't really touched it since. So
yeah, and I think the beauty and maybe the downfall, it's kind of a double-edged sword, is that yes, you can put in all the comic book arc and then like grab the best bits of everything, but also because they're calling in so many, like they set up things and then you won't see it again for like a season, and then they'll bring it back next season. But also, if you're kind of new to the show, like it makes it important for you to go back and have watched some of those things. Like they got pretty good recaps, but it's still not the same as like I think episode 3 deals with some aliens that we've met multiple times. Like it's those aliens that live in an alternate dimension where time is different and they keep coming back to Earth. Like they attack multiple times and every time they get better at it because a long time passes in their dimension. So like even now, we met those guys in season 1 and they're back. Like so it's kind of cool stuff like that. So but yeah, I like it. It's fun to try to figure out the voices that are guests on the show for like a 1 episode thing before going to the credits at the end. So that's also really interesting. And
well,
I
maybe
think
that's the books that I need.
Yeah,
to be like guess the voice.
They found a good balance of between for the budget where the animation doesn't look, because last season 6 episodes look really bad. Not really bad, but they look very weird. Like you could tell the animation budget wasn't there. But then like the last 2, you could tell all the money went into making those. But I think they found a better balance.
To piggyback off that, one other thing that I've been watching, because you and I have talked about this in previous episodes, is Teen Titans Go, because I am going to put a list of episodes that you should watch. There are 2 seasons on HBO Max currently, seasons 8 and 9. I don't know why the whole thing is not on there, but it's just seasons 8 and 9 on there right now. And I think it's season. I think it's the last episode of season 8 is called episode 400, in which every now and again there's an episode where they're giving out awards, and the Teen Titans Go wins the award for most episodes, animated shows, because they're having their 400th episode. Superman gets pissed because he thought that the Justice League would win, and he banishes them, the Teen Titans, to a stop motion animation universe.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it's so expensive to do stop motion animation, that his plan is to get the show canceled. And that whole episode is about the Teen Titans trying to get out of the stop motion animation and trying to cut down on the budget of the episode so they can continue. So that is just the genius of that show, which is why I'm putting together a list.
All right. Well, I'm waiting because earlier today I uploaded a story to Instagram. Somebody left a very nice comment in my review for New Titans for this week. And I wanted to share that. So I uploaded, and I was looking for the Teen Titans theme song. But obviously like Teen Titans Go comes up, so that was funny. The last thing I'll touch on real quick that I watched was I rewatched Star Trek from 2009, the J.J. Abrams one. Because the shout out to the 70mm podcast and those guys, they did Back to Jakku, which means they revisited the Star Wars sequels, but obviously the month is longer than just 3 weeks, so they had to include other stuff, and Star Trek 2009 won their vote on that. So man, those movies are fun. I didn't forget, but it's fun to be reminded, like, you know, if the last taste of a J.J. Abrams film was Rise of Skywalker and you're not very happy with that, just go back and watch the Star Trek movie and you'll remember why they would have brought him in to do Star Wars. Like, and The Force Awakens, I think, also shows you that. But yeah, I liked it a lot. Everybody looks so young because it's almost 20 years now. Like Chris Pine looks like a baby. Chris Hemsworth, who's also on there, looks like a baby.
It's such a good cast.
Yes,
it's a shame. It's real sad that what's his name passed away.
Yes, I was gonna look up his name because he was in one of my favorite movies too, Green Room. what's his name? Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin. Yeah, he's great. But I mean, Zachary Quinto, I think he does great. Seeing Leonard Nimoy on the screen is really fun too. Simon Pegg, yeah.
Carl Urban as Bones is great.
Winona Ryder is Spock's mom. I forgot about that detail. So yeah, it's very cool. So I recommend it. If you have Paramount Plus, you can watch those movies. I'm tempted to go back and watch the next one, the Into Darkness, where the whole marketing was like, we promise this is not Khan.
It's not. We don't know what you're talking about. What leaks? What are you talking?
Yes. And then now in the synopsis in Paramount Plus, like they tell you like right up front, this is Khan and he's doing bad stuff. Like that's pretty much the synopsis.
They should have that. I mean, I think that's what did that movie in more than anything else is their boffing of the thing, and they should have just leaned into it and just been like, you know what, it is Khan, and we'll try to get Burger King to put some specialty glasses out.
That's right,
or something.
So good. So yeah, I might revisit that franchise. It's fun, but I got a lot of things going on with my MCU rewatch. So okay. I want to pay off the thumbnail, and I don't know. Did you read the G.I. Joe issue for this week?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that one first, because I did put Optimus Prime and Duke on the cover of this video, so we can start there for our comics.
A different cover.
Picked up the Invincible variant as well. Yes. They really got me this month with those Invincible variants and dropping the show at the same time. This was really, really fun because these guys are kind of dorks and they're just like, I'm a failure. I'm a failure too, but I can't give up. Yeah, me neither. Let's be friends now. That's exactly what the comic book was like.
I was very there's so much has happened in Transformers, and this is the first time they've really kind of crossed over.
Yeah,
and something huge happened in the last issue of the Transformers, and I'm glad that they're like, nope, like that carried over to this, and it must have just happened, kind of thing. So when you hit the page turn for when Duke meets Optimus, you're like, oh, okay, so that it does happen. He has stepped down as leader of the Autobots. Spoilers. So yeah, and I do love that conversation that they have. I love that they're adding the M.A.S.K stuff, even though it was kind of like it's very much a tease because the main leader of the good guys is part of that M.A.S.K.
Trekker.
Matt Trekker. He just kind of was like, well, I got to go do my own thing now.
Since you brought it up, my shop had the ash can for M.A.S.K #1.
Oh, look at that.
And I would have told you, I read it, but the ash can doesn't have any words in it. It is just the illustrations.
The pictures. Who's doing that book? Does it say?
This one's by Dan Waters and Piper. So Dan Waters, of course, did one of our favorite books, Batman Dark Patterns with Hayden Sherman. And Piper, I don't know if you remember that book about it's kind of like a Dead Race 2000 with like robots that are sentient. We read it maybe last year with Rob Williams. Rob Williams was writing that. Piper was drawing it.
Okay,
It's like a robot on the hunt. And then my shop also gave me, I can't show you the whole thing, but it's the poster that comes with the it's like an Energon. It's the M.A.S.K on one side and then like an Energon crossover. I'll post this later on Instagram, so shout out to my shop. But yeah, this was like, oh, I can read M.A.S.K early. I was like, well, not exactly. There's no words in this book, but it looks cool.
I wonder what other properties that they have that they have access to. Like, could we see like a Gem in the holograms like pop up, and they have to go do security for Gem or something like that?
I wonder. I don't know. See, I'm not very familiar with all the I've never heard of M.A.S.K until like this started. Until they started putting those seeds on the books, and I was like, oh, what is this, right? because you look up that guy Trekker, and he's like, oh, he's not a GI Joe. He's got his own team in their cars, and it's like Kit or whatever from Knight Rider.
Yeah. They're sort of like that. There's also I think the Centurions, which was also an 80s cartoon, which does have very loose. It's either them or it's the Inhumanoids. One of them has very loose ties to the GI Joe universe as well. So there's a couple of stuff out there that are all kind of interconnected. But yeah, this is just awesome. You've got a lot.
Well,
and there's a lot of stuff happening because you also still have Zartan, who's pretending to be Colonel Flag, and this is also the right as they kind of tied a bow on the GI Joe Transformers thing. In my mind, as the reader, I was like, well, they haven't gone back to, and you're about to show it. I was like, what happened to all those little miniseries? And that's when they start tying that back in. So I was like, oh, Scarlet. Okay, yeah, we're finally going to get back around to like what happened to Scarlet and you know everybody else that's up there.
Yeah, because we want to see what's his name again? Night Shadow, Shadow Storm, Storm Shadow, Storm Shadow. Yeah, I definitely want to see him again, and I think Kelly Thompson did such a good job with the Scarlet series that I was like, ooh, how is this gonna follow up? So now we know. Now that this kind of chapter is at least closed and they've met, they spend they spend 2 pages on that. 2 pages of this book is like, oh yeah, we gotta get Scarlet back somehow, figure it out, or the government's gonna get her back, right? Like she's on a wanted list, so the Joes better get to her first. So yeah, I'm excited. Energon Universe continues to just kick a lot of butt. So okay,
it's really good.
Let's talk about comics for the week, and then we'll go through our favorites, our upcoming stuff, just the regular stuff. Jeff, I'll throw it back to you.
I read End of Life #2. This is the Vertigo book by who's this?
Kyle Starks and Steve
Pugh. Yes. I'm enjoying this book. Really fun book. It's the worst person you know has to go home. The worst hitman, as in a bad person, has to go home to his hometown and hide out so he doesn't get killed. And I like that they're not. I feel like one of the easy things would be to make him kind of redeemable. Yeah, slowly over the course of a couple of books, but they don't seem to be doing that. He just seems to be a jerk the whole time. So I kind of like that they're sticking with that. So
I like that Kyle Starks is like, we're not gonna take the easy way out of this. We're gonna fight through the mud. I mean, it was a big week for Kyle Starks. He had 3 books out on the shelves if you're picking up all of them. The Devil on My Shoulder from Dark Horse wrapped up, and then also Wrestle Heist #4 came out this week, and then of course End of Life. So yeah, big shout out to Kyle Starks. Now we can call him friend of the show since he was on the channel. So very cool. All right, well,
all his ideas in his beard.
That's right. Oh, is that where we keep him?
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, no ideas.
That's why I pitched earlier the show for next week to you guys on the Discord. Like it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh, this would be a fun show. Let me do that." So yeah, we'll talk more about that as we close out this episode. I want to talk. I mentioned New Titans earlier. New Titans 33. So like they just we talked about this yesterday a little bit. They just renamed the title. I picked up the cornerbox variant. These are by Sammy Bastry, who's also doing interiors on here. And then that's where I got the really nice comment on my review. But I love that this felt like an episode of the Twilight Zone for like 2/3 of it. I mean, really most of it. But I was like, but the Titan just happened to be in it, which was really.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I like Tate Bromble, who's the writer. Tate Bromble did Everything Dead and Dying, which is the best comic of last year, I think.
Yeah.
Sammy Bastry was the artist on Birds of Prey, doing great stuff there. And I really enjoyed. I like that they kind of make fun of the fact that the Titans kind of have the same story beats over on occasion, where they're like, oh, this one of those stories again. How they have their own tropes. I'm enjoying it. I was out. all the characters that are on the front don't show up to the very last page, so that stuff doesn't start until next issue. But yeah, it's a pretty good first issue to kick off the new story.
If you've been wanting to jump on the Titans book, this is the perfect place to do so. Like, DC is really being amiable when it comes to like, I'm behind. Well, don't worry, we can, we have an on ramp here. So yeah, and you know what? I'll say this: I was not the biggest fan of the Tom Taylor run specifically on just on this book. I love Tom Taylor and what he's doing in Detective, but the Titans was never. I don't know. It never kind of clicked for me. So like, if you were one of those people that maybe that book wasn't for you, maybe this iteration of the Titans might be for you. Like you might enjoy that. We'll have new creative team, new roster eventually. I guess once we pass the baton here, however they're gonna do that. So, all right, what else, Jeff?
Go back to Kyle Stark's Wrestle Heist number 4. This is Ocean's 11, but with wrestlers, and I love all the little nods to real wrestlers. I mean, everybody in here is a fictionalized person.
Yeah,
but there's like a person that's missing a foot, sort of like it was a Carrie Von Erich and
Alpha Male.
Alpha Male. Like all the wrestlers have funny names. It's got a good twist at the end. It's just a really fun comic.
Yeah, if you've been holding off on that one, this is the penultimate issue. The issue 5 drops, I believe, next month, and that'll wrap things up. So I'm waiting for that to happen because last time I read a Kyle Starks book and a little inside baseball, I do have issue 5 now, so like I could have read it already, but it's not colored yet. We got a preview copy that's not colored yet, so I'm like, let me wait one more week, see if we get the real version of that. So yeah, it's very exciting. We'll definitely talk more Wrestle Heist when it's all wrapped up, because Kyle Starks this, and this one's all him, right? I think he has a letterer and a colorist, but that's about it, or maybe just a colorist. I think he even letters the book himself. So which is a lot of work. Yeah. Designed by Dylan Todd. Sometimes that also means letters, but I'm not sure. But it's very cool. And I got if you missed it, I got the Invincible crossover variant as well with Conquest and Alan, and that's I forget the name of the big bad. Argyle. I forget the name of the main bad guy in Invincible. I don't know. So, okay. From Kyle Starks, we're gonna go over to someone beloved all across the internet, especially TikTok. Let's talk about Wonder Woman, number 31. I got this really nice Dan Mora cover, and then we have Daniel St. Pierre. The Wonder War. Man,
Wonder War.
They went all out on this one. Like, and maybe this is just like a possible future or whatever. I don't know. The Matrix is a really cool villain, and I like everything that happened. Like Lex Luthor does what Lex Luthor is gonna do. So yeah, this is really fun. I'm very excited about the Wonder War.
The Daniel St. Pierre art is so amazing. Like you can tell they gave him time off so he could really, really work his magic here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to deal with some time travel shenanigans to get everything put back into shape. And my guess is that we're at some point we're gonna get Catman to just take down Mouseman. You go back in time, you get Catman to take down Mouseman right at the beginning of everything, nip everything in the bud. You're all good.
This is another one of those books that like you could just jump on here and it gives you kind of all the information you need, but you're gonna miss out on the little things. Like we get to see Mouseman and what he's been up to, or I guess what he's up to now. He shows up, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" Yeah, it's very well done. I think somebody left a comment that they're not a fan of it, and I understand if you don't like this run, or if you don't like this iteration of Wonder Woman, or maybe you just don't like Tom King. That's fine. I mean, you don't buy the book. Don't buy the book, and maybe Marvel will call DC and cancel it for them. I don't know.
But I'll just call them up, be like, you guys should try this every 5-issue thing that we're doing over here.
I'll tell you this: I don't think DC's canceling this book at anytime soon. I'm sure Tom King has a roadmap, and he'll probably finish that up and then move on to whatever's next, and they'll bring somebody else to to do Wonder Woman. So if you don't like the current team on any book, just wait a few months, and you'll probably get a different team anyways. So
yeah, I have a feeling that, I mean, this is, what is this, 31 issues. This has got to be his finale arc. I'm sure, because
so.
it feels
maybe
like
at most 12 more, or maybe at even at most maybe he'll want to not drag it on, but like maybe he has planned out to 50, just to kind of have a nice number to go out on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's still a lot, because I feel like this could be like another. Yeah, that's still quite a few more.
Like a year.
But that is the next big thing. I think he's probably got another maybe 10 issues in him. But I guess if you got 10 issues, you might as well go to 50.
Yeah, for sure. Or maybe drop in Stephanie Williams for a couple more in between, and then he can close out his arc, which I'm okay with, because Stephanie Williams, and if she wants to come in and take over the series after, I'm also very fine with that, because I think she understands the Amazons and like really, really well. So
yeah, totally
cool. What else, Jeff? What do you?
Let's go to another lady. She-Hulk, Planet She-Hulk, number 5, the second to last issue of this book. I made a lot of noise because I really liked the Rainbow Rowell She-Hulk that preceded this one. So this one, for me, for like issues 1 and 2, I was just like, no, I don't want to like this, but I really do like it, really do. And sad that canceling it after the next issue. And there's a pretty big turn at the end of this issue. So I don't know how Stephanie Phillips was on her TikTok, and she's like, I mean, there's a 6th issue and it is the final issue, and I guess they're trying to wrap everything up in that one. But it's been fun to see Jen out of her element, doing way more barbarian Hulk stuff than what she's used to, and then kind of finally embracing that, only to see her series get canceled. So
wow, so the next issue I was looking, so this, I mean, they do get a little bit, they get 32 pages for these, like all these issues have been 32 pages, and I was like, oh, maybe the last one's a little longer. It's not. So she's definitely gonna have to, I don't know how, but she's gonna have to wrap up everything in 32 pages like she's been doing. So, but
this is the Who Shot JR ending, where she just wakes up in a dream at the end.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, also, and Aaron Kuder, like, I don't know, like, I think he skipped one issue, and I was like, oh no, but he's been so good. He's been so good. Like, he does these like really gigantic, cool creatures, and then of course Jen, like, any action with Jen and that giant sword, like, it's so cool. So yeah. It's quite a shame.
Yeah.
Quite a shame. Marvel, just give people a chance to get into the series before you cancel
this. This is their absolute Wonder Woman, honestly. Like, it was probably, it feels like a spiritual sister to Absolute Wonder Woman in a way.
I can see that, because it is kind of like, let's make it a little bit different than like the main thing, that especially with it's so different from the Rainbow Rowell run, like, and I think was that 2 different series that all kind of told one overarching story?
It was the thing that Marvel does, but in 2 12-issue series. So yeah.
See Scarlet Witch for what we're talking about.
yeah. But it is that kind of, whereas Absolute Wonder Woman kind of was raised in this harsh environment, and she is bringing this like absolute, like, you just need to love everything. It's not quite at that level, but is She-Hulk, who is like, we don't have to fight about everything in this harsh environment, where she's trying to teach these people that it's not just about how violent you can be. It can be about other things too. So
yeah. Well, since we're talking Marvel, and this is the only, I bought 4 total Marvel books, but I haven't read, outside of She-Hulk, the only other book for Marvel that I read, and we have a review on the channel, is The Sentry #1. I'm a big fan of The Sentry, and sometimes the comics have been hit or miss. And here's that's the image on the main cover. Alex Maleev did that. So, like, if anything, you're gonna get a cool cover. My shop only had this one, but Paul Jenkins, co-creator of The Sentry, is back writing this one with Christian Rosado. and it just kind of drops you into like the Void is doing some really fucked up things, but also he's only targeting billionaires, so like I'm not too sad about it. But it's still the Void. So like this one's more like, what if Bob is okay with the Void running around doing all these atrocities, and he's just putting up a kind of like a front for the Avengers and everybody else. So it's really interesting. I think obviously Paul Jenkins creating the character truly understands what kind of made it appealing from the beginning. So like it's been really, I had a really good time with this one. I'm gonna definitely check out at least issue 2 to figure out like if are we going in a good way, on a good route here. So
well, let's knock the Marvel book out. Marvel books out of the way then. This is Captain America issue number 8. Captain America is stuck in Latveria. Dr. Doom has died, and there are a bunch of opposing factions that are trying to capture the weapons of Doom still, sort of, kind of. This kind of ruins Dungeons of Doom, which is still not finished yet.
Like it spoils it?
A little bit, but
okay.
But that's still a good story. This is okay. It's I feel like Steve Rogers, that I like, the character that I kind of associate with, is a bit more sure-footed than how Chip Zdarsky is writing him.
Sure.
Yeah, it's okay. But I think I don't think it's bad enough for me to dump out. Also, I know it's all leading up to some kind of big crossover event kind of thing, which intrigues me still, but it's not quite as gripping as I'd hoped.
I'm picking that up, but I'm definitely reading that in the little arcs because I think it reads better that way. I mean, Zdarsky's always, I think I've done that for most of his books, except when he was writing Batman, because I love reading Batman monthly. But even the other book, the Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon, or whatever that one is called, that one's really fun. Also, because it ties back into the Cap run that, there's a character that we met in the first arc, and you thought like, oh, I thought they were gone, and I was like, I guess they're over here. And like you said, it's all leading up to that, big Weapons Armageddon thing. So cool. Really quickly, I'm going to touch on Nightwing number 136. This is by Dan Waters as well, with what's his name? David Cohen? No. Dennis Cohen. Dennis Cohen. Yeah.
Dennis Cohen.
This one leans into some supernatural kind of thing, and I was like, what the hell is happening? But it is also another good jumping on point for that. And then, like I said, Jorge Jimenez is doing all the Bat Family little corner box variants, so I was very happy to pick that up. I like to check in on Nightwing and see how he's doing every once in a while. So,
who in your head can? This is what I've been thinking about on occasion this week. Who's older, Dick Grayson or Peter Parker?
Oh, interesting. I think I would say right now Peter, but maybe like a year or two. They're not. I think they're pretty much the same age. Or I imagine them. Yeah, because we met Peter at 15, and let's say we met Dick around 12, and I think they've been kind of aging similarly all throughout. So, yeah, I would say Peter's a little older.
Get your life together, Peter. Battle Beast, 7.
Yeah,
that'll be 7. This is a fun book. It's back from its break because it took a little bit of a hiatus after 6 issues. Battle Beast. This is kind of a reset. Everything where everybody is. There's a couple of characters from the Invincible universe that make cameos, and it's a nice reset issue. Good pickup if you haven't been following along.
If you thought, well, there's nothing that Robert Kirkman can do to surprise me, or there's nothing that Ryan Ollie can draw to surprise me, well, this guy's penis is back, so yeah, that's nice. So there you go, and it looks like that too. I guess I don't know. I need a director's cut of this version of this book, so I can see what that script said.
Just a little behind the scenes, please.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have this guy. I'll mention this real quick, only because it's unfortunate and timely. But there's a guy in this book that kind of looks like the Max.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, I know it's not, but unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard, Sam Keith passed away, creator of the Max. So yeah, it's fun to see that the Keith legacy. Like, there's no way that this guy was not inspired by the design of the Max.
Yeah, totally. It looks a lot like
yeah,
Max.
big loss. It's interesting when a creator passes away, you can kind of tell who was beloved by the amount of people that share sentiments about it. I know, like, how many people maybe he was just a really nice guy that a lot of people probably met maybe doing cons and stuff. And so he had a very impactful career, I think, outside of just doing the Max. And I saw James Tynion share, I guess he worked on the Max Batman when they did a crossover back in the New 52 era, or around whenever Tynion was writing Batman. So that was cool. Like, just those little things, you can tell, like, oh, this was truly a stand-up person in the comic book industry. Because sometimes people will pass, and I feel like people are like, if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe don't say anything about it.
Yeah. And the Max is pretty. I what did he do before the Max? I forget what he was doing. He did like Wolverine stuff because he was doing the covers for Marvel Comics Weekly, and stuff. But Max also got its like MTV TV show and stuff. I mean, he made it pretty big. It's pretty big.
Yeah, he did some. It looks like there's also maybe some Sandman stuff that he worked on. Maybe. So yeah, but a lot of. I mean, I don't know. Was he one of the people that eventually left for? No, I guess the Max was way after Image had started, huh?
It was like that second wave.
Like maybe like a second wave guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. It's my turn, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna save the DC Next Level stuff till the end, which is really right after this. This is my last book, not related to any of that stuff. Dead Teenagers #1 from Oni. Oh, you got it. Nice. I'm glad your shop had it, because I feel like this was the indie book of the week, if you want to call them that. Which also, interesting surprise in the back before I talk about this comic. Matt Kint, I guess he's moving Flux House over to Oni. I think Dark Horse has lost maybe a few of their imprints because of the move.
Yeah.
Because of the the acquisition and then letting go of their CEO or whatever. So it's interesting that I guess that Night City book will probably wrap up, but maybe the collection will come out through Oni. I don't know what the deals are there. But yeah, anyways, I just found that really interesting to see this.
I've never read Mind Management, so this might be a good time to. And there's going to be a die cut cover, so
boom. And it's new and improved. New York best-selling creator. Come on now, Jeff.
I do love me some Matt Kint.
Yeah. So Dead Teenagers. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I read a synopsis of the book before picking up Dead Teenagers, about how it's like Groundhog Day, but with murders, sort of.
It's like Final Fantasy combined. I mean, Final Destination combined with Groundhog Day.
Yeah. But I assumed that it was going to be like what was that movie, Happy Death Day, where it was like the same killer every single time. But it's not. It is more like Final Destination, where you have no idea how you're going to die, and some of the ways are pretty extreme and out there. And so that's what I was very entertained by that, because I did not see that coming.
Yeah, and Jude Ellison Doyle wrote this one, and I'm not very familiar with them as a creator. The main reason I picked this up is because Caitlin Yarsky was doing the book, the art for the book, which is why I picked up the Pretty Woman homage cover.
Yeah.
I love that, the fact that because this book is so insane as a premise, Yarsky gets to draw like some of the craziest shit, like this creature that just kind of shows up in the prom, and then you get all the little designs for all the characters. I want to see, and that's the stuff that Oni kind of likes to do. They just kind of go all out. And they may be small series, but they do really fun stuff with them. So Jude Ellison Doyle, what else? Oh, I knew I had read something recently. They also did the Be Not Afraid book from Boom Studios. I don't remember if I shared that with you guys. And also Maw, that was just what it was called. I think Be Not Afraid spun out of Hello Darkness because they also did some Hello Darkness. And The Neighbors with Boom. So pretty much all horror books. So if you like horror, I think Jude Ellison Doyle might be the creator for you. So yeah, this is really fun though, and it's going to second print because, like I said, I didn't really make an announcement or a video on this one, but I'm kind of figuring out what the the people that are blowing up these books are kind of looking for, and it's just books with crazy premises that might become a movie.
Yeah, they're all like the smaller, the indie, like not even some of them are Image books, but they're mostly like Boom Studios or like in this case Oni.
Yeah, Oni.
Smaller print runs, number ones, usually miniseries.
Yeah.
Before we hit my last one, before we hit the next level books, is World's Finest number 49. The end. This wraps up the 2-issue story arc where Batman and Superman go to Earth 3, which is the reverse Earth. So it has. I love those corner boxes. Everybody is like, this is where what is his name? Uberman or Owlman and Ultraman. That's it, Ultraman. It's a fun wrap up story. The artwork in it is really good. And then the big issue is next.
I'm very excited, and they're putting out very quickly because I think in a couple of weeks we'll get number 50. Yeah, I think 50 comes out on April 1st. So that's like a 2-week turnaround. So yeah, that week the first is stacked. With that, Batman Bizarro, that Kevin Smith book, and Daredevil, of course.
There's also that Mad Magazine.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Mad Magazine one's coming out that week too. Let me check real quick because I don't have it in front of me. I read Justice League. Oh, well, that's for next week. Whoops. That's why it's not on my to read pile. I did read. Hold on. Let me make sure I got through everything before we next level this. No, I guess we're good. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Do you have a preference on which book, the next level you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Then I'll pick this one. Deathstroke, the Terminator number 1, Tony Fleeks and Giancarlo Giandomenico. I picked up all the variants that Jorge Corona did because my shop had them, and I was like, well, I get 20% off. So eventually one of these books becomes free by buying enough of them. The transitive property of comic books. This was really good. The synopsis had me a little. If you go back to our ranking, I feel like this one I was not as excited about than the other two. But man, when you get to that last page, I'm like, oh shit! Like this guy's world is gone. Like he stripped him down to. It almost feels like a premise for an absolute book where like we're gonna strip Deathstroke down to like the core human person that he is.
Yeah.
They also remind you like. He's older. He's missing an eye. He's gone through all this trauma. His family hates him. He's by himself. It's
he's
really
killer.
Cool. Yeah,
and
it's really cool. I mean, I know he's not a pet, but like Tony Fleeks like really did a good. I know that's Tony Fleeks' specialty, the pets.
He's just an angry dog.
He did a really good job with this Deathstroke book.
Deathstroke is. I know he's a beloved character, I guess, villain to people, especially people who love Titans. He doesn't really move the needle for me that much, other than it's a cool design. But I do like Tony Fleeks, and this book is awesome. Like it does a great job of setting up who he is. So for people who are like me, who are just like, I kind of vaguely know who he is, but it gives you a setup of what his world is like and what he's got to lose, and then he loses it. And then and then it becomes, you know, your John Wick revenge story. Like who am I going to kill next? And the pain is coming. It's such a cool like twist at the end, and of course you're hooked. So yes, I want to go forward with it and be like, who's next? And Carmine Giacominico's art is just great, like
incredible stuff. Like I was saying, I think I said in my review, like he might be like Dan Mora does a lot of books, and he's great at what he does. But man, Gian Domenico might be like just maybe pound for pound the best. Like if you just I don't want to compare artists, but like he's just really good at the superhero stuff. Like he truly gets like that page I was showing you earlier, like with the opening, setting up the city, and just like, can you the guts that it takes for the first time you see the main title character, for him to not be even looking over at the panel, like at the
yeah.
That's confidence, my friend. That is confidence.
It's such a cool, and I like seeing his work, because I can't remember, but it's very recognizable. But the same way as Dan Mora's is, or Jorge Jimenez, or
Belen Ortega too. Like you see it, and it's like, oh, that's who it is. Yeah.
But it's so different to once again to dump on Marvel a little bit. Like Marvel is very much into their house style right now, where everything kind of sort of looks the same. So it's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Before
we do that, if you want to read more Gian Domenico, he did that Batman the Knight prequel series with Chip Zdarsky before Zdarsky took over. That's where I was like, oh, this guy. I mean, you put any good artist on a Batman book, and you kind of hook me for life as a reader. So there you go. Next up, what is it? What do you got, Jeff?
Old Lobo is back with an award-winning team of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, doing some amazing work on the inside. Like honestly, holy cow! Again, it does the thing where it sets up. If you're not super familiar with Lobo, it kind of gives you a quick little backstory, and then it turns it on its head on the end. Where it's basically Lobo. To put it in comic book terms, Lobo meets Mojo, basically.
Yeah. Do you want to be a superstar? Because of the event of DCKO, we want you to be a superstar in this universe.
They want to turn him into a reality show. He's becoming Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, kind of. It really is that. Yeah. But I've never read a Lobo story that's this meta. So that's also very interesting.
And it starts off with him learning what an anti-hero is.
Yeah.
So it is very meta. Lobo. So
he's just Lobo. And then Corona's art is like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like as clean as Gian Domenico's lines are, and as clean as Saint Pierre's lines are, Corona's like the complete opposite, but it also really works because that's kind of the thing you expect out of Lobo. That dirty, grungy look, like the craggly lines, and like just a lot of detail and everything, and then super gnarly shit going all over. Like when he, I mean, just look at this shit.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
It's visceral.
Yeah,
like it feels like Lobo.
Yeah. Look, and then look, come all over you with the chain, like like they know Scotty Young. I mean, there's a reason that I Hate Fairyland book has been going on for so long, because people just want that like crude stuff as well. So perfect choice. Perfect choice for it's. Shout out, and let me see who the editor. I don't know if it's the same editor for all the DC Next Level books, but man, they really put great creators in each one of the books, and I don't see it here. Oh, I love this one. I just when he hits him, it says Chud. So like, yeah, everything's really, really well done. I'm trying to see DC. I will say this: DC, figure out your credits page.
The very end. Editor Kathleen Wisniewski or Paul
Kathleen Wisniewski and Paul Kaminsky. Yeah, they did a fantastic job putting the people on these books. Like the right fit. It makes me more excited about all the other books that we talked about for DC Next Level now, because it feels like they really found people that are going to do a good job on these books.
Definitely.
About that. All right, since we're on this the train, you wanna go into your pick of the week, not to give
Do
anything
you want
away.
do you want to do that or unread comics first? Because I have a handful of
Uh,
unread.
let's go with just because we're on the trend.
It's a
We'll
theme.
change the format just for the day. Let's go to pick
Uh,
of the week. I mean,
my pick of the week is Batwoman right here. Batwoman #1 by Greg Rucka, interior art and cover by Danny.
not
I
me.
don't
Artist Danny.
artist Danny. Again, does a great job of kind of covering. If you don't know anything about Batwoman, the whole first part of this book is kind of covering the overall gist of what Batwoman is about, and then it gives you a hook at the end. If you are not familiar with Danny's artwork, it is incredibly impressive.
Look at that. Oh my god.
They did the work on the Invisible Man. That's what I know them last from. But this is just, and I think Greg Rucka has a pretty Greg Rucka is known for their Batwoman run, I believe. So coming home to that, Danny, fantastic art. I'm all in on this book. I am all in on this book.
Oh, that's what that means. Now we can explain to Josh. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, so I had to get the Danny cover, of course. And then, like I said, I've been getting all the Corona covers. But my shop also had this one, the Art Germ foil. And I was like, well, I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool not to get this one. It's so good. Like somebody I think on the video mentioned, like, you said it feels fresh and new, but like it's like she only has one villain. Like, yeah, they talk about Alice because that's what she's remembering. But what I was talking about being fresh and new was the other part, like what Kate is going through. That feel like they invented a whole new place for her to be. Like that's not a real place that we've ever seen, anyways. So that's what I was talking about. Yeah, Alice is obviously a very important. Like if you don't know the story, I guess this isn't a spoiler because it's kind of her origin. Or if you watch the Batwoman show, they're twins, right? Alice, Batwoman, Kate had a twin. She disappeared. I think the story might have changed a few times of how she disappeared, but eventually she came back up, and there was a villain named Alice, like very Alice in the Wonderland theme. And she discovers that it's actually Beth, her long lost twin sister. But Alice is kind of also like her Joker. So like, imagine if Bruce and the Joker were twins, and Bruce didn't know about it. So like, it's really cool, and that's a lot of Ruckus run.
Now, is that tethered to Darkseid new? Is that, or has that always been there? Do you know?
I think that's always been there. I think that's kind of been it from the beginning. Yeah. I haven't, it's been a long time since I read that. What is it? Early 2000s, maybe Greg Rucka Batwoman run, which she's a relatively new character when compared to someone. I mean, 20 years is it's a long time, but she's about 20 years old. So yeah, I really liked it. It's a really cool book. Danny's art is very impressive. I did hear my shop. Somebody told me like they didn't really like Danny's art, and I get that because it is definitely like it leans very heavy on a very specific aesthetic. That if you like something that if you want it to look like house style superhero stuff, this is not it. So maybe you don't like that, and maybe you think it looks ugly, but it's not. That's just kind of the aesthetic that it's going for. Like it's part of the story. So.
But it feels very like Batwoman feels like a very gothic character to me, more so than Batman. Batman feels way more superhero now than gothic.
If you thought Bruce was emo, you haven't met his cousin Kate.
Yeah. So, and Danny's artwork definitely leans into that kind of gothic feeling. So I think it works perfectly for the character. Like,
I agree. I agree with you. I agree. So yeah, highly recommend it. Great pick. I mean, this would have been if I hadn't read the other book that I read, I probably would have been my pick. Maybe one or the other. I guess our tier ranking was pretty spot on because I think we were all very excited about this one and Lobo. Deathstroke was probably the lowest one on the rung. I don't have the picture anywhere by that our final ranking for this, but yeah, it's all through. Unfortunately for you and your wallet, if you're watching this, all 3 books are pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
yeah,
and DC is not letting up anytime soon.
they're not. We got next month we have Firestorm, the the Batgirl book, Babs in Prison, and in Zatanna. So we're getting another 3 new books next month. So okay. My pick of the week. So I don't have the book with me because it's a trade paperback that I ordered, but our friends at Dark Horse had sent me a copy. So that's how I read it. I reviewed it. It is the Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Grievous trade paperback. It's a really cool book. You'll probably, I mean, let me see if I can sell Jeff on it. Michael Moresi wrote it of
Oh yeah.
Barbarian fame, with art by Caio Felipe as well. So that you may not recognize the name, but once you see the art, like he's worked on Nightwing and stuff like that. Uh, and I don't know how you feel about General Grievous, but he's kind of my favorite character in Star Wars. Even if he had only
Little
been
guy
on
with
this,
the cough.
yeah. Even if, yeah. Hey, who can't relate to waking up in the morning? So you don't know kids, but sometimes if you get older and you have high blood pressure, some of that stuff just gives you a little bit of a cough in the morning. Trying to get
Yeah.
things out of the system. So
It's got an itchy throat,
but it's really cool. Like the story maybe sounds predictable. It's about like how he got one of his lightsabers. So it's like you're not gonna be surprised at anything, but it's just such a cool pitch of like, yeah, we're gonna show you and we're gonna get down and dirty. And also Grievous is still trying to prove himself to Count Dooku and like making sure that he understands that he feels almost like a force of nature in this book, not so much like a villain. He's just like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go into the jungle and we're gonna tear shit up. And it's really cool, really gnarly, and it's an all-in-one story. So you don't need to have read anything before. Probably would help if you had at least watched the movie where Grievous comes on. But like I said, he's on there for 15 minutes. Like the Clone Wars really expanded the character. But even just his design, like Caio Felipe has him riding in like on top of this dinosaur-like creature. And then the Jedi and all the other people that we kind of meet, they're really cool. So yeah, recommend it. My shop should have. I read it, and then I was like, oh, I should order this because I forgot. Because sometimes when we get books to read, I just don't even think about. I was like, yeah, I'll just pick them up whenever. But I messaged as soon as I finished reading it. I messaged my buddy at the shop. I was like, hey, can you guys order this for me? Because my shop, because I have a pull list, they give me a discount on stuff like that. So I'd rather buy it there than at a bookstore because I'm not gonna get a discount at a bookstore. So yeah, really cool. If you're a Star Wars fan, highly recommend it. A really fun, like kind of one and done story about a cool character. So all right, Jeff, razzle dazzle me with whatever's left on your reading floor.
Whatever's left. I've got issue number 22 of the Ultimates.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'll pull out the ones that we have in common. Yes,
I need to have I have to read like 10 individual comics between reading Denise Camp books. So I had to.
I kind of lost a little bit of steam with the Ultimate stuff because I'm like, I don't want it to end. I still haven't read the last issue of Spider-Man because I don't want it to end. And I haven't been keeping up with Endgame because I'm like, I think I'd rather just read that all at once. So I'm saving these as well, like you said, just kind of saving that. So
yeah, it does have a feeling like I don't really know what
I'm conflicted.
Like
I don't want
it's coming to an end. So Exquisite Corpses, the newest issue of that, I need to read.
Same here. I got this one, and then I got this very cool cover by Isaac Goodart, who did some work on Christopher. Oh fuck! I forget the full name of the book. And then I also got this the Invincible cover because it had the fox on it, and I haven't opened it yet. But Exquisite Corpses really saw me coming this week, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get all these covers.
Get them.
Get them."
Night City, the newest issue of Night City.
Oh, speaking of Flux,
The latest issue of Absolute Flash.
Yes, same here.
And then the 7th issue of Lucky Devils.
Yes, same here. I think we got 2 more of this, and then I'll finally read the whole thing.
Yeah, I think there's a couple left.
I love the little bomb here, Flambe the Rich, on there. So very nice. Anything else?
Nope, that was
okay.
Violence. Yeah, 2 more issues after this.
Well, I'll show you the 4. I got 4 left now that we've gone through some of the stuff with yours. This is the latest issue of Superman Unlimited, issue 11. It's got the Skylar Patridge did the corner boxes for this one. I think it's a Nightwing Superman crossover thing. I don't know. I'm not keeping up with this, but I will start here. This is, I believe, Dan Slott, right, is the one doing this one.
Yeah, Dan Slott.
Yeah. So, listen, that man's out there hustling to get his book sold. So I was gonna pick it up and at least give this one another chance. I like the premise of when the book first came out, but I kind of fell off with that Kryptonite world or whatever he was doing.
I didn't realize it was an ongoing and concurrent with whatever was happening in the thing. I thought it was just kind of one of those one-off kind of
thing,
almost like Philip Kennedy Johnson's, like he's doing his Son of Superman series or whatever right now, which is kind of its own little thing.
His Swan Song.
Swan Song. Yeah, so I was surprised that this kept going. I'm not reading it, but I am quasi intrigued by what happens in it. So yeah. I
think that's gonna be, because it is a kind of a not Elseworlds, but like an out of time story. It's gonna be okay for me to just read that when it's collected.
Yeah.
Also the last issue of Starship Godzilla. I'm very excited to wrap up this series. I've been really loving everything in this new Godzilla universe. Ultimate Wolverine, which I believe is also almost the last issue. I don't know when this is ending. And then last but not least, Ultimate Endgame number 4. So like I am still wait, no, sorry. That's the back of the book.
I was like, I don't think that came out this week.
Mark Spector Moon Knight number 2. I saw it. I was like, something looks weird about this cover. I don't normally tell you this is, so Mark Spector number 2. That's how behind I am on the Ultimate Endgame stuff. I was like, I don't even know. So yeah, there you have it. Cool. Let's you want to go take a look at our pull list so we can get out of here?
Yeah, let's take a look at the new comic.
Get back to old Sunday fun day. Let's see. Is it this one or? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is Jeff's pull list for next week. Yes, next week.
It's a huge week.
You got a lot of books. I was gonna say.
Yeah. So we got Absolute Martian Manhunter,
Mm-hmm.
Absolute Wonder Woman, the Spider-Man, Superman crossover there.
So
this is the new run for the.
Sorry, I was gonna say. Funny enough, DC did not have this one on their box, but they did the Batman Deadpool one. So I don't know what's going on. So I'll have a review for it, but it may not be right away. Here, there we go. Now you can see a little better. Okay, what else?
Detective Comics, the new run for, or the new story arc for Detective Comics gets started.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where Green Arrow gets introduced.
Yeah.
What is it? Dungeons of Doom. And that maybe it's either second to last issue of that.
Yeah, I think 3. So I think it's 5 total. Yeah.
Oh, 5. Oh, okay. Fantastic Four. Feral. And Flash is new to the pull list because Ryan North and Gavin Goodry are taking over as the creative team, so I am on board there. Iron Man continues to keep rolling with Joshua Williamson. Is Ted okay? Number 2. I really like that first issue. It's very artsy fartsy. Justice League, The Brutal Dark, my favorite of the Vertigo comics thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Superboy Prime makes his debut as the main character in the new Superman comic.
Mhm.
There's Ultimate Endgame,
Oh yeah.
Void Rivals, and Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon,
Very
which kind
nice.
of feels like a pity buy, honestly. I don't know.
Well, I really like the first one, so like I think I'm more on board with this book right now than the Cap book. Like I know they're both important to the thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, my list is very similar to Jeff's, maybe with a few extra things. But yeah, all the first books are the same, like our first, except for what did you have there? Oh, yeah, Dungeons of Doom. I'm just gonna do the trade. And then some of these are because I want to do reviews, so I may not pick them up. We'll see. Fantastic Four First Foes, that's coming out, the movie tie-in. That'll probably end up on Jeff's list. I know he enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I like the first one. It's a big week. That's one of those things where I'm like, there's not enough money in the
Right. Game time decisions here.
yeah.
Generation X-23. I really like this book. I like Jodie Hauser and I like Laura Kinney and Gabby. So Green Lantern is getting a new start as well. So this one is technically issue 600, but it's issue 33. And it's putting Kyle in the driver's seat, which is my favorite Lantern. So like I have to check it out.
We love Kyle.
Yeah. Bat Quinn appears in Harley Quinn number 60. I'll tell you this. I read it and it was a very confusing issue. Like more confusing than normal.
Whoa.
Yeah. Justice League number 17. Null number 3, which is surprisingly one of the Marvel series that I'm really enjoying. But I don't know how long it's gonna be around. We'll see.
Yeah. At least they got one number 3 sale.
Yeah. The New Gods Volume 2 comes out next week as well, and I stopped buying the single issues when they stopped doing those really cool covers, and I switched to the trade. So I have Volume 1 here, so I'm looking forward to picking that up as well.
That completes the whole run, the 2 volumes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that'll take you all the way to the end. Brutal Dark, Power Fantasy Volume 3 comes out. That also closes out that series. I remember people were saying it was the new Watchmen of its time, and I don't know. I haven't heard people talk about it afterwards, so I'm not sure how long people talked about Watchmen.
I've heard good things about Power Fantasy, but
yeah.
Not on those terms though.
I read Volume 1 and I was like, oh, I really like this, but I also know Karen Gillan. I'm like, I need to read your stuff all together. Like the Ones and Future book about King Arthur. I had to read it all together at the same. It's very tough. There's a lot. He loves to put a lot of lore into his books. Same with he did the Eternals with Azad Ribic. Like
yeah. I really like that run.
Yeah, that was so much.
What was his big Image book? Not East of West. That's Hickman. It's
got a few, but Die was one of them.
I'll think about it here in a second.
Okay. Yeah, check it out. Rafael Garcia, Henchman number 1. This is from our friends at Titan. I just want to check that out. Maybe do a review for the first issue. Skinbreaker. We're almost done with Skinbreaker, and I'm excited to finally read it. Superman, Supernatural, Shredder, Ultimate Endgame. My reminder to pick up The Invisible Man in a collection.
Speaking of Danny.
Wolverine Weapons of Armor. Yeah, because I have all these Universal Monsters collections, so I want to make sure not to forget them. Yeah, there you go. Did you figure out which book? The Wicked and the Divine.
The Wicked and the Divine.
That's right. I should have known that. I feel like I failed you, Kieran Gillen. I'm sorry.
That I feel like to me for the longest time was his calling card, because people would go nuts over Wicked.
Yeah, I agree. I remember that. So that was a good hype book. That would have been the indie sleeper hit for that.
Yeah.
So that might be a fun show to go back and pick out like which book would have blown up in if it came out today. All right. Well, speaking of what
I have been going through. Sorry, but I've been going through and looking at pulling trades off that I just happen to have here with me,
Okay.
and like going to like how would the fifth issue have ended? Like, so I pulled Born Again, which is
Okay.
an 8-issue arc. But
Yes.
I look at the last part of the fifth issue, because that would have been where Marvel canceled it, and and the fifth issue ends with Matt finding out that his mother is the nun,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's how it would have ended. That's how Born Again would have ended. Vision by Tom King would have ended with he gets released by the police after getting questioned about Grim Reaper's death, and the kids fight at home, and the wife breaks the table, and that's just how it would have ended. That's the last part of that.
What you gotta do is take half of issue 5 and then mix it with half of the last issue.
Yeah,
And that's how the book would have ended. That's crazy.
That's how the book would have ended.
Can you imagine if an editor told Frank Miller, "Hey, we're gonna cut your book short, buddy"? God, he would have told him to fuck right off.
Yeah. Sorry, Frank, it's not selling. We need you to wrap it up in 5.
Yeah. Yeah, wrap it up in 5. Like, fuck off. Excuse me, Mr. Moore. Your Watchmen book isn't selling. We're gonna cut it at 5.
Yeah. There just weren't enough orders. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey Grant, I know you're really into this Animal Man thing, but we're gonna have to cut it at 5, you know? So
Hey John, you're gonna have to nix that Dark Phoenix thing that you were working on.
yeah.
It turns out we're recanceling the X-Men.
Dude, it's such a this whole Secret Wars thing. Come on, Hickman, wrap it up. Dude, it's so crazy. So crazy. Okay. Alrighty. Well, as I was saying, we're gonna tease the next episode. This is what we have planned. Obviously, everything is subject to change, like in wrestling. I told the guys earlier today. Here's how the idea came about. You know the Criterion Closet. Are you familiar with the Criterion Closet? I believe, and maybe hopefully I'm not attributing this to the wrong person. Comics Couples Counseling, the podcast, has their own comic book room where sometimes they'll invite creators, kind of like the Criterion Closet, to pick through their stuff and pick their favorites.
Yeah,
and I saw a video of that on Instagram, which is a fantastic idea. I mean, I could probably get all my stuff together and do that, but obviously, like, there's very few creators that live in Dallas, so like, I can't afford to join our Patreon, so I can afford to fly out, Joshua Williamson to rummage through my long boxes.
Also, I'd be like, you can't really keep them at the end of this. You have to give them back to me.
Yeah, we're gonna need that back. But they did that, and I was like, oh well, people love those letterbox videos where like artists, because I've been watching a lot of Project Hail Mary, like PR, and people love those videos of like, give me your top 4, and I was like, okay, well, let's do the same thing they did with the Criterion Closet. If there was a letterbox style app for comic books, what would be on our top 4? And that's the premise of next week's show. I'm gonna try to reach out to some people to see if maybe they can send me a video, like just like mutual creators that I know from the internet. Maybe they want to send me their video, and I think that's gonna be whenever convention time comes around, that's maybe gonna be a question that I start asking people, because I'm always like, I never know what to ask them. Like, I would have loved to, when I went to zoos and I saw Leah Williams and Joe Eisman and all the creators from Ignition, like, I would have loved to have done something like that if I had thought about it.
Yeah.
So, and it's a really fun icebreaker, I think. Obviously, I'll prompt them before like putting a camera on their face, like, hey, I'm gonna ask you a quick thing, do you mind? So yeah, that's the pitch. And now, Jeff, did you have any? I know you had maybe some questions. I don't know, we can probably hash it out here with everyone. We had a very specific thing on the Discord too.
Well, yeah, I was asking, you mean like single issues, or are you talking story runs, or whatever? But now that you've explained it, my guess, my interpretation is what it would be like a collected story of some sort. What is out there, what you would be, and the Criterion, like, it's usually like 5 or like they'll just like randomly pull a bunch of stuff. And then those I've seen the red carpet questionnaires. Like, what are your top 4? Whatever.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I love about how some people answer that question, and I want to apply, I'll obviously tell the other guys too, but I'm telling you here since we're talking. It doesn't have to be like, oh, these are the top 4 best things ever. Sometimes it's just like, what are you vibing with at the time, or like, what are the top 4 things that kind of made you the reader that you are? Just like, there's a lot of nuance to the question, so hopefully we get some fun answers, because I think all 4 of us have very different approaches to how we rank comics and how we review things, and also we've read all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many Watchmen we end up with in that show.
But see, I can tell you right now, Watchmen's not on my top 4.
I wouldn't put it on my top 4 either. I'm not saying it's not a good comic book or anything, and I understand, but it's just like, it's not part of my comic book DNA that made me like the reader that I am today. You might see some stuff from New 52, because that is a foundational piece of what I was reading when I started reading comics, and you're gonna be like, what the hell? Now it's not gonna be Hawk and Dove, like, so don't worry. So yeah,
as an older reader, that's one of the things that I enjoy the most, is like seeing how other people who are not me get into comics.
Yeah.
There was that. I don't think I have it near me. I think it's on the other side of the room. But the comics, the magazine, the first page just has a letter from the editor, and he talks about how people who are getting into comics today were probably really into Raina Telgemeier, or however you say her name, or the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, or something like that. Like, they transitioned from young adult fiction that kind of dipped their toe into graphic novel stuff into comics.
Yeah.
Whereas we didn't have, like, growing up, young adult fiction was all just straight up fiction. Like, it was just books.
And it was prose, right? Most of it, like the Scholastic book fairs did not have illustrated books. A lot of it was just prose.
Exactly. Like, we had Garfield and Far Side. Like, it was like comic strip stuff. So my first comics were like The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, and stuff that was like way too old for little 10-year-old me to be reading, but that was what there was. And then I kind of found my grounding.
Maybe there's an Archie book that you found, or like DuckTales, or Scrooge McDuck or whatever. That you found, or maybe it is that Garfield table book that one of your relatives had when you went to visit, or something like that. So so it's interesting how different people's routes get them to where they are. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what kind of loopholes you guys do, because you love to bend the you guys love to push the boundaries and bend the rule. Whatever I give a prompt, a very specific prompt, you guys love. But like, if I'm the letterbox person and I'm interviewing like Walton Goggins, and he finds a loophole or whatever, like, I'm not gonna say like, no, Walton, you're ruining the bit, right? So
Clay will be like, I'm picking Marvel Comics from 1980 to 1985, everything they've ever published in those 5 years.
And Josh might bring like, this is a book about comics or whatever, but it's not actually a comic book. It should be fun. Should be fun and interesting. And then, once I can convince at least 2 of these guys to watch Project Hail Mary, we'll probably do a video on that, maybe a whole stream on that. So should be a good time coming forward. So Jeff, anything for you to plug before we get out of here? You working on anything on your TikTok?
Just the same old TikToks, same old. I'm doing reviews of what I've read, and occasionally kicking out an idea or 2. I did turn one of our old podcasts into a TikTok video where I talked about how Marvel will do the crossovers with like the Predator and the Aliens and now the Planet of the Apes, but they should maybe look at some of those other properties that Fox has previously owned, like Home Alone and Die Hard. Get those characters in Marvel comic.
Well, I mean, now that we have Carolyn Cash doing Nancy, like, I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of Nancy crossover with, I don't know, Wonder Woman or something. Like, I feel like, because I forget the name of Nancy's aunt, but she looks she's drawn in a way that reminds me of like the 70s Wonder Woman kind of look.
Oh, yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about. So that might be some fun. And I love before Carol and Cash started doing the Nancy strip. I couldn't have told you where to find it, but now it's just on Instagram on their posts. So like, that's where I get my. Whenever Instagram reminds me, like, hey, here's the Nancy for today, by the way. And then here's the Sunday one. It's in color. Enjoy, because I don't buy newspapers. Yeah, I think that's the other. Oh, what's her name?
That's Kathy. Kathy.
Yeah. Hey, that might be a good crossover too. Kathy and Booster Gold. That's the universe. There you go. That might be another show. We're gonna put that in the back pocket. So there you go. Cool. Well, this is great. I'm gonna get out of here. I am about to start. Well, not today, but I do have a next book up on the queue, which is Artemis, which is another book by Andy Weir, the writer of, and that one is read by Rosario Dawson. So looking forward to that. So
I worked with a guy at a bookstore for like 3 years before he finally let us know that he was second cousins with Rosario Dawson.
Really?
And I wanted to strangle him. And I was like, why haven't you brought her over? And
yeah. Like, I mean, you're pretty big Kevin Smith guy. So like, she's been in so many of his movies. So cool. Well, very exciting stuff. Thank you, Jeff. This was great. As always, the Sunday show is like just where I have a good time talking about comics, because you're one of the only people that is almost as current with all this nonsense as I am. So I appreciate that. And you're not mean about it, like on the internet.
No, I don't. There's no reason to be mean about comics. Just don't. You don't like it, don't read it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, listen, we read so many other books. We only really, especially for the videos, like I only do reviews for things that I like, unless it's like super egregious. But even then, I'm like, nah, it's not worth my time. There's 10 other good books that I'd rather talk about. So, okay, cool. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Go check out the rest of the stuff in the channel. It's a lot of fun, including our Spider-Man Brand New Day deep dive. And then you can also listen to us talk about how the industry is falling apart at Marvel, and what they're going to do to fix. I know we try to stay positive with Man Oh Man. At least we try to come up with solutions there.
Yeah, we'll call you out if you're doing wrong things, though.
That's right.
For sure.
That's right. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
The most important thing in life will always be
Hail Bebo.
Little loves you.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.
All right. Bye.
Get out of here, you weirdo.